roster.
Absolutely. I mean, when you bring in a lot of players, 13 new players, the one that I'd like to highlight is Ashley Connor, transfer from SLU. We talked about transfers that are transferring in conference, but she brings size and athleticism at the point guard position, which automatically means that she's a leader. What a challenge it is to manage a whole new roster, all new players. Everyone is new, but you got to establish that culture somehow. I think she'll have a big part of that.
All right, good stuff. They're at the podium right now. Let's hear from them.
Less than a month. It's an exciting time.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. We'll open up for questions.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Inquirer. There's obviously a lot of excitement over the new arena and what it can do for LaSalle's program, and the poll admittedly says what it says. What are your expectations for this group to try to prove some of that?
We have a lot of new faces this year, right? And to the person, our returning players and the new players who are coming in made a commitment to really connecting as individuals, of becoming the tightest group that they can become. And through that, we've got to see that kind of flourish this summer, spending a lot of time together, being really supportive on the court, player leadership showing up like I haven't, experienced yet at LaSalle. And we've made a commitment as a group every day to get better. What that's going to look like at the end of the year, time will only tell, but I think it's going to look pretty good.
For me, expectations, like Coach Mountain said, for us to be the chemistry that we have on the court, I would love for that to translate to the game and be able to help us through any hard games as well as good games as well.
Mountain Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. Good to see you again. When you have the new faces you do, how much of an opportunity is it to teach and to mold into being the best version of themselves, and how have they responded in that adversity?
Yeah, being a very different team personnel-wise than we've had in the past, we've kind of identified some different ways that we're going to play. We're still going to be a very up-tempo team, but this is a group that can get to the rim and finish around the basket at a different level than teams we've had in the past. And also it's a team that I think once we finally get down, all the structure of our defense is really going to be able to create a lot of problems. We pride ourselves on forcing turnovers and not turning the ball over. That forcing turnovers part, I think we're going to be able to do at a higher level than we've done in a long time.
Mel Greenberg. I'll take the discussion back a previous step, because you're probably one of the few that could give a good clinic on the whole portal thing. So can you just take through the steps? Because, we come out of covering the national tournament and we say, let's see who's who, and suddenly we see an exodus. So that whole period when you got to face that and then turn it around to get who you want in there to get things going again.
Well, as college basketball coaches, we are always preparing for what's next. So we're constantly, if we're doing our job, we're recruiting every day. We're paying attention to what the team needs are. Yeah, at the end of the season, we knew we couldn't repeat the season we had last year. It wasn't who we wanted to be. And we had a large turnover. And we were well prepared to kind of, look at the junior college kids that we've been following all year long. And we're really excited about what our incoming JUCO kids are going to be able to contribute. They had really successful careers at the JUCO level, and they've already shown to be really productive with us in practice so far. And we had a nice freshman class coming in, and we were able to add a couple late signees as well. And then we're super excited about our two kids that did come out of the transfer portal, in Ashley and Mackenzie. It's time will tell. The fourth's coming, but we got two scrimmages before then, kind of get a good feel for who we're going to be. But what I see every day is a team that really competes. Competes like a team that I haven't had in a long time. They're almost a little mean to each other in practice, and I love it. They fight for every possession, and I think that's going to have some good carryover.
Aryss, just for you personally, what did you learn about yourself last season? Obviously, it was a tough season for you, but what did you learn that made you a better on the court and a better leader on and off of it?
For me, I think For me, I think that I learned chemistry is really important, and having a bond off the court and knowing each other's weaknesses and strengths is important to play. Because it's easy if you forget if you forget a play or anything like that, you can still be able to make a play out of it without messing up and turning the ball over. And this team does a good job with being able to just play together without worrying too much about where exactly to go. So I'm excited to play with this new team.
Mountain, also for you, just you have Jolene back as well, someone that really was able to perform under pressure last year. Just how has she grown and how has she been able to buy in with so much going on?
Yeah, Jolene looks fantastic right now. Her fitness level is at all-time high. She's shooting the ball extremely well. She is relentless in her pursuit of the ball, especially on the offensive boards, but on both ends. And she's already shown that she can get the ball out and get our team running and going up the floor. Really looking forward. And as I had been mentioning all day, she's really taken it upon herself to lead and to be a vocal leader and to be a presence. It's really welcomed, and love seeing it.
Aaron Bracey from Big5Hoops.com in Philly. For both Mountain and Aryss, the Big Five Classic this year, you guys have Drexel and Temple, and then at Villanova. What is that going to do, do you think, for the Big Five? And how excited is your team, and what are your expectations for the first season of the pod system?
I think that with this new team that we have playing in the Big Five, it's a huge restart for us, and it's a huge opportunity for every school in the conference, as well as outside as well, to see the potential and the new talent that we have this year.
You know, LaSalle's always been committed to being part of the Big Five. We've always played Drexel since I've been here as well. So having Drexel now as a part of the Big Five is kind of exciting. We're actually going to play less Big Five games than we played because we were playing 5 every year with Drexel. But now the new tournament format should add some juice to it. Playing in that triple header will be exciting. Love to be playing in the last game of that day. So that's the goal.
Mountain, Aryss, thank you both for joining us again, and certainly wishing you both the best of luck this season. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk more with Mountain in just a moment as he gets set up. What did we learn, I would say, from both programs right now from LaSalle?
Yeah, it's going to take the whole team. That's it. That's what I learned. It's going to take the whole team. It's going to take players that are returning, the 2, plus the additions, but it's going to take the whole team to gel.
I thought both coaches were very expertly stating that it's the task. It's a task.
Yeah.
Right? We're not hiding from it, not running from it, not excusing it, or making excuses for it. Both programs have a task at hand. It starts with the sideline being organized and being energized. Both these guys are organized and energized.
Yeah, I think you said something too about the staff. Like, you got to have all those guys in it too. You know, your staff needs to be there. I mean, it can't just be one,
Right.
especially in both programs. And what about the type of player that you need to get at those schools, Phil, right? I mean, it's like Philly, grit, toughness. I mean, that's kind of what embodies,
You need
those
dogs.
programs. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ice has been saying all day long, this idea of building trust with young people. Let the other things take care of themselves.
Okay.
Let the NIL take care of itself. Let playing time take care of itself. What you earned is what you're going to get. But do you trust me? Do you trust that I'm going to fully commit to you and fully commit to me? And if at the end of the year, Ice, it's not right, trust that I'll let you. I'm not going to stomp my foot.
Right.
I'm not going to badmouth you. And you're going to move on. You're going to move on.
Okay. Mountain MacGillivray joins us now. Mountain, thanks so much for taking some time here. Mike Corey with Ice Young and Coach Phil Martelli. Just a little bit from your perspective, and we know it's an uphill battle for both you and on the men's side. Like, what are some of the challenges and things that you're facing, or you have faced, and then some of the exciting things like the redesign of the arena and those things. Like, talk to us about what we need to know, the fans need to know about coaching at LaSalle.
Phil just talked about, building that connection and building that trust. And, it's been a really emphasis this year with a lot of new faces of just me as the head coach, just individually connecting outside of basketball, getting to know these players. Because the recruiting process with the transfer portal now has shrunk. It's gotten much shorter. So our recruiting process with a lot of kids on our roster was a month long instead of 2 years long, like maybe it was before. So now that they're on campus, just getting to know and building connection is both the biggest challenge and the best part of it. So it's, we're looking forward to seeing where it takes us.
Mountain, how have you navigated not having an on-campus arena for most the summer and then this early practice? How have you navigated that time?
We've had it's Philadelphia, so we have PCOM right down the street. And so we've been able to practice there on a regular basis. Recently, PYB has rented their facility, which is right on Wissahickon. It's like 5 minutes away. So we've been able to use that place as well. We have a couple beautiful outdoor courts and all the nice summer sunny days we've been able to take advantage of. So it really hasn't been that big a challenge. You just hop in the vans and hop over, get a good practice in. And our arena has been online for our kids to get up shots. We just haven't had full court access for some of this time. But they've been in there, working on their game on their own, have access to a few baskets. So it really hasn't been that big of a chore.
I'm sure you were at Narberth one of those days, Mountain.
Now, I used to ask Phil for the gym at St. Joe's as a young AAU coach, and he was always cordial enough to let me in there. So I still owe you one, Phil.
Coach, you have 2 players that are returning, and you expect them to be leaders on this team. What are you asking from them from a leadership standpoint to bring 13 other players with them that were not with them the year before?
It's a big challenge for Jolene and Aryss, but also every single kid that we spoke to in this recruiting process, one of the things we were vetting is, did they want to build connection? Were they committed to being part of a team? And was that something that they really wanted? And we challenged them, like, if you want it, you have to participate in it. So not only are Aryss and Jolene, helping to build that, but we have some really other kids on this team in Ashley Connor and Mackenzie DeLiba who've stepped up as leaders as well. But really there's been a whole group effort to build connection. And it's paying off in the way they're playing. It's paying off in how much they enjoy being there every day. It's paying off in them getting those extra shots up in the gym because they want to be with each other. I'm looking forward to see where it takes us.
Mountain, lastly, we talk about this in relationships and family, and you have a very successful one and a large one at that, you and your wife, Grace, with 8 children. Tell us about that, how that translates into maybe some of the conversations you have with your players, because it's more than just basketball, and you're practicing what you preach, I'm sure.
The reality is, I think sometimes as coaches we can get lost a little bit in the game and maybe obsessed with our team's successes and failures. And having a large family that keeps me very busy, I don't have a lot of time to obsess over, my shortcomings as a coach or our team's failures. Like, we have to be able to move on and turn the page because I got a baseball practice to go to in a little bit, and I got to run this kid there and run this kid there. I got to make dinner. But they're also really invested, from my wife to my kids, in how we're doing. They care about this team, care about the program. And so there's a really nice synergy there. But the family keeps me very well grounded and doesn't help me lose perspective, which I think then affects our players, that I'm not obsessing over their little mistakes, and we get to just turn the page and get back to work the next day.
Great answer.
Mountain, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the best to you and your family and the LaSalle family in this season upcoming.
Mike, Isis, and Phil, thank you.
You got it. How about that? All right, that's going to wrap up with Sal, and it's going to wrap it up for right now for you, Phil, because you got to hit the road. You got some more appointments to attend to here this afternoon, but it was just a thrill and an honor, and I know we'll see you and work together this season, but thanks so much for being here. Really enjoyed it today.
I appreciate this, and I'm going to say to both of you, you made me better. My time with you made me better, and that to me makes me you're my friend for life.
For life, Coach.
Thank you. Great
First
job
studio
today.
show today, and you crushed it. I'm not sure
You
I've
did.
seen a better first performance in the studio.
I appreciate
Awesome
that.
chatting with you.
No doubt about it. Thanks, Phil. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon. All right, Phil Martelli, he's going to move on. We're going to be back, myself and Ice Young, where we continue more with Media Day here.